Alright, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day number 338. So once again, there are no updates on these items. I have one package to go out for the Shopify store, and one that I cannot even ship because shipping to the United Arabian Emirates is suspended as of the 12th. Okay, and I guess today I worked on a script for the next video. So we will continue on with work on the terminal block mining simulation game. Oh yeah, I made a couple small changes here. Actually, I'm suspicious of that now. Yeah, so last night, I guess, I tried working on the multiplayer, on the WebSockets multiplayer mode. And I spent the stream debugging what turns out to be, I'm pretty sure, is actually an issue connecting to the server. So that the next immediate to-do item will be to add something so that it's obvious that when I try to connect to the server, that it gives me some feedback that it's not connected. You know what, I think this is probably wrong. Let's test it. Oh, actually. Ada Scout says, yo, how's it going? The grind continues. Yep. You can never take a day off. Grind every day forever. Yeah, that's what I thought. User session is, because it's cut off. Much respect. Thank you. Stand on the shoulder of giants. Shoulders. I think it was Isaac Newton that said that, if I remember my quotes correctly. Okay, that does work. as suspected. Want to mod this so hard? The block mining game, you mean? Yeah, I mean the code is available. I have it's been on my to-do list. I think I will get around to creating like a derivative license. So there's like the base license where you have to pay at least $1 to play. But I think it would be interesting. Like, I have no opposition to like if two people wanted to download it, maybe like vibe code on top of it, and then like publish it on GitHub and share it with a friend. I have no opposition to that in principle, but I probably want to put something in the license to the main things I'm concerned with is people forking it and then putting malware in it, and then advertising it under my brand, saying like, hey, this is the official repo, and then it steals all your bitcoins or something, and then I got all these sad messages of like, hey, I like your software, but I think there might be some bad code in your software because I downloaded it and now I have malware. Shirty CS says, good evening. How's it going? Interesting. I wonder if I kind of recognize that icon. Is your handle Sherry_CS? Is your handle usually different? They might have changed there's like your display name and your handle, and they YouTube keeps changing it in the chat. It makes it hard to remember people. Take my crypto keys, you get nothing. Some people have lots of bitcoins though. Going good. How are you? Not too bad. Good. I got a little bit of work done today. Not super productive, but not super unproductive. Did change my handle. Oh, okay. So it was you that changed it, because YouTube had a thing where it's like the display handle, it would change. There's like two different. There's like the one that appears in the URL. There's one that appears like on your channel page. And for a while, YouTube went back and forth and changed it like 3 times. So it made it hard to recognize people in chat. Okay, so next thing that I want to do is there is a fundamental problem so connecting to the server only happens when you create an authorized client. But I think it should happen Okay, I was going to say it should maybe happen with the world connection and not the authorized world connection, but the reason I'm doing it in the authorized world connection is because I need to have an instance of the client. Which makes sense. Probably use IntelliJ from JetBrains though. Thrash against those errors. Thank you, I will. Have you seen anything about the Linux kernel 7.0? I've not. I don't. There's so much news to keep up with. I guess I'm pretty unplugged from Linux kernel news. I try to. I'm mostly focused on just using what's stable, so I guess I'm not super always up to speed on the latest and greatest in the Linux land. Is pretty nice. Does it have any cool features? They already included real-time stuff in line 6.8. I'm that way too, mostly. Just keep hearing people talk about it. It's going to be the biggest thing ever. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's I guess if it's like a major version change, I actually don't even remember. I don't really remember like major milestones. Like I guess now I would believe that we're on 6 dot something. But in terms of the versioning, I don't. And I guess a lot of the way I've adapted my use of Linux, I mean, I focused on reviewing all of the core utilities. Those utilities are designed to be like backward compatible to like 1970. So from my experience, I don't actually like touch on a lot of the cutting edge stuff. Like I would imagine there's probably like IPv6 stuff. But to be honest, I don't. I'd be really hard pressed to say like what is new. What is new in the area of IPv6? I think I've only ever experienced a couple situations where I was trying to compile something and the kernel API changed, so I had problems. But I assume since it's a major version change, I guess the main feature of it is just like new incompatibilities. There's probably some stuff that won't compile anymore. Linux already be so good. Kernel 7.0 got some performance uplifts. Nothing I can remember. Command that prints your kernel version. You can do uname-a and then also lsb_release. I think it might be lsb_release and then lsb_release -a. Google on the kernel, major improvements in memory reclamation, better NVIDIA GPU support. Rust, oh yeah, I remember they were trying to get Rust in the kernel. Hardware support for gamepads. Yeah, it sounds good to me. It's not nothing that really gets me excited. I guess maybe the only thing I think of, but is there's probably something that's going to break. There's probably some new API in it. Rust is fun, but C, still goat in my book. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that the evolution didn't. Like, there's no, in my opinion, there's no reason to invent a whole new language. I think C would have been fine, or maybe like a more. Like instead of adding things to the language, I think it would have been interesting to even see them remove things from the language and then build like better tools, like especially with AI coding, like remove stuff from the C programming language. And then maybe some of like the memory type safety stuff could be done as like as additional specifiers, or we could have like some better metaprogramming around C, and then have everything like translate into C, and then that would be the way, instead of like you could probably have, I don't know 100% how the borrow checker works, but I'm sure there's with additional specifiers or something, which I guess technically is adding to language, but there's what was it? I think there's well, I don't know if you could do it with preprocessor directives or something, or even like an alternative to the C preprocessor. because there's stuff you need to work with the standard library. The language itself is not adequate. You need some like magical stuff to implement, like VA lists. So maybe like the way to do it would have been a new metaprogramming language on top of C, and then also remove features from the language, and then add a borrow checker that way. But that's if I controlled the world. Removing stuff, break existing programs. It would probably make them not compile. But like right now, technically, like there's all kinds of old programs, like ISO C89 programs, or like KNRC programs, like the very first C programs ever written. Those already won't compile. If you go to look for like the some of the earliest entries in the obfuscated C contest, there's examples there of things that are they just won't compile on a modern compiler unless you like. Sometimes you can get them to compile with very specific flags, but if you restrict it, you can just kind of like you could maybe add a compatibility flag just to get it to compile. It would be like when a language removes certain behavior, and then it becomes like a warning for a while. For a few versions, it says like, warning, don't do this. And then a few versions later, it's like, nope, you're not allowed to do that. Especially with the kernel, it really matters how optimized the code is. Rust can be faster than C, but an optimized C versus mediocre Rust code, C wins hands down. Yeah, I mean, I guess the whole benefit of Rust is more correctness. Correctness is important, well, depending on what the code is, but I would say for a kernel, correctness is almost more important than speed. Well, it is for if your program breaks and if something in the network traffic processor that corrupts the data, it's no good, even if it's fast. Rust holds your hand. C lets your foot off. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. So the issue here So the issue I faced is I try to connect the server I guess, rejects the connection, and then it issues the on-close. But I'm not reporting that. I'm not handling that properly in the game. Interesting. It's not what I expected. Do you use awk a lot? Sometimes I do. It depends what I'm working on. There is a very specific category of like filtering problems. I used to use it for quite a bit. It's one of those commands. It's extremely convenient if you know how to use it well, and you just have some like simple thing you want to filter out in a bash script, or even just to like process ad hoc information. So the collaborative license, or whatever you call it, would be fine with something other than GitHub as a fork of the code. I was thinking of like kind of making it somewhat restricted for like my rules. So I probably have a list of like specific rules, something like like let's see, it'd be something like adding a disclaimer that it's like not, it's just some like obvious, like this is an unofficial third-party fork of this software which is not connected to the author, and like have some add some blurb like that to the repo. It's like the first piece of information. And I would probably stipulate to share it, you have to host it. I'll probably list GitHub. So you have to host it either on GitHub or maybe like some other, I don't know, at least semi-reputable, like hosting it on your personal website. I don't think would be, there's not a lot of benefit to that. Something that, something is like within the jurisdiction of North American, but some U.S. company. I guess GitLab, I think, is maybe another alternative. I'm not sure if there's others. I would imagine like 99% of Git repos people clone from like probably GitLab or GitHub or something. So I'd probably stipulate it has to be one of those platforms, or Bitbucket. I think that's I had used that for one project. I worked on a project that used that a long time ago. But yeah, if there's other like industry standard reputable ones, I'd probably say like it has to be on one of those. So that way I don't have to write out, like if you host it on GitHub, it has to comply with GitHub terms of service. So that way I don't need to spell out GitHub's terms of service. Public hosted, not self-hosted. Yeah, I would say there's no real benefit to like some hosting it on your own thing. That way also it's like just better for safety. What is this? It's in my feed. This is software development of a terminal-based video game. So this here is the video game. It's a terminal-based video game. You wander around, you spam the M key to mine blocks of iron ore and other minerals. Yeah, I guess, and the other thing I was thinking about, probably I might also stipulate like for the person that hosts the repo, you have to so that every I maybe make it so like it's fine to share it privately with your friends, but if you distribute it publicly, you have to do it on one of those places, or also no like anonymous hosting. So you, just list your actual real name in the country you live in, which I think is that's not a huge ask. Some people would have a huge problem with that, but that I think like anyone who would be okay with having it hosted, as long as they're like an identifiable person and not like some bot or like some person, a foreign threat actor or something. point back to original. Yeah, I guess that would make sense to have that as well. But I guess the main thing is avoid. I'll have to sit down and actually think about something. I probably have those few like stipulations. My domain name doxes. Doxes your personal name, you mean? Where's the message? Oh, there it is. Okay, so it is getting to that point. I'm surprised it didn't throw that exception. Straight to actual address. Yeah, I guess if someone did a fork that was like that actually became popular, I think it would make sense to like I guess if you did a fork and it became popular, you'd probably want people to know your actual name for like fame points or whatever. And the idea of having like random people, unnamed people associated with it is not really a great thing. I don't know what they're maybe putting in it. Okay, I know. So in the onClose method, it's making it into here. For liability, I think with the it already says, oh yeah, the software is provided as is without warranty of any kind, expression implied, which is basically that's the text from the MIT license. So I think that like resolves liability. Not doing this for fame. Well, various people may have various motivations. Morally, not everyone got the same motivations. Yeah, I think. I mean, it's early to really think about it now, but having more, even this, the more you know about who wrote the code, the more trustworthy it would be. So I think first order of business is the block session is always exactly the same, and I'm getting it in multiple places. So we can centralize that. Actually, let's test something first. Wrong command. Okay, that's what I was trying to get to work before. And there was an issue on the server. Okay, that's multiplayer, player 1. Now let's try it for player 2. Oh, it's not going to work. Index out of bounds. Maybe that's a fixable thing. My favorite Linux command is the netcat command. It's in files without setting up an SSH server. Like a hacker. Yep, you watched the video. I'll keep showing up in chat and seeing progress till the derivative license is out. Still probably show up after that. Yeah, it's there's one person that vibe coded like a 3D engine on top of it, or like didn't really use the code. It like looked at the code and figured out how to interact with the database to pull out. So they just like generated a world with the terrain generation and then rendered that. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, that would be that could be like an interesting, community development thing, getting people to actually use the software and like build vibe code stuff on top of it and share it. No, maybe that means the message is broke. Oh, Max. I want to put my hands on the artisanal code. Feel my way through it. I've a wife and kids and a job. Probably no time soon. Yeah, the code is it's available on GitHub at the moment. Yeah, you can look at it at the moment. I'm not sure why this would happen. Enjoying the real-time streams, distracting you while you work. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. maybe it's relaxing, even if it's work adjacent for me. Yeah, a lot of people have said that they like the ASMR quality of it. I guess it's I think that's pretty common in a lot of domains. I know in like in rural areas, like people tend to like watching like reality shows of other people at work and stuff, of people just doing like regular blue collar work, like the drama around, you know, someone at a construction job likes watching you know, reality shows about other people trying to do construction. So I guess it would make sense. It honestly, that's probably an undertapped market. I guess numerically speaking, there's not that many software engineers, but I guess for shows like Silicon Valley, that's maybe kind of close to it, but that's like more of a drama. You know, you probably could make something. Probably could get a niche audience out of that. A reality show. It would take a bit of a budget though. Have a few people sit around and like try to like live stream or the process of building a company. Okay, server is restarted. So I was going to make those changes to the client, but now I guess I'm interested to see what was crashing the server. So it's when I open the second client. They pretend, but none have captured what it is. Oh, you mean like shows that capture the drama of working in a software job? That'd be kind of interesting. I don't think I've really ever seen a drama that shows kind of the corporate culture. Half a week. Okay, let's see what happens when I open the second client connection. It worked. That's not supposed to happen. That must mean there's a race condition. Okay, there's definitely something messed up going on. That's not supposed to look like that. Look at that. our same null exception. But it did not trigger the exception I added. So maybe that's not what I thought was null. This is probably broken. Yep. What does it mean? Why? What is null? Something is null. The data null? I'm dev. I don't think I'm cut out to make a corporate culture. To make it, I mean, to be like management or start a company. /me hands Ada a corporate culture cookie cutter. I think it also changes over time. The economy, the entire economy is in a weird state right now. I think we have like so much prosperity and for so long, and then we have like tons of money printing and inflation that have like allowed this bubble of like insanely inefficient companies that are also very toxic. But eventually the some of these debts are going to come due. We're gonna have to like figure out how to make a functioning economy again. Okay, it's not super clear why that null pointer happened. And this is in the server, so I guess I'd have to update things to attach the debugger to the server. Trump's cookie cutter and blast furnace. Not a fan of corporate culture. Okay, this exception should now could be something a bit closer to the source of the problem. I'm not 100% sure what is actually null. If it's the data or what. It's weird that it only happens with 2 clients. Maybe there's some more code I have to do on the server for multiplayer, for having 2 WebSocket connections. Oh wow. We got another super chat from very reliable James Goodrich. Successful build. Inconceivable. Throws a null into the mix randomly. Well, thank you for your various super chats and non sequitur messages. Okay, there's the first client. And the second one. Let's that finish. I aim to innovate, interfere, and generally cause gentle chaos. Well, thank you. Your gentle chaos is welcome when it's accompanied by super chats. Although you've been very dedicated. I hope you're very rich. Because if you're not, you gotta save some money. We're about to go into worldwide depression. Well, that's really okay. There we go. So, enter. So here's everything that happened after that exception. And here's that index out of bounds again. So I think data was not null, but I don't know why. James Goodrich is rich. Yeah, he is. What is that called? Normative determinism? Could it be an n minus 1 bytes? I guess it depends what's going on in here. I guess really I should attach to this with the debugger and look at it. Yeah, I guess actually that was technically this wasn't even the thing I wanted to test. I wonder if it could be. Well, maybe it's trying to. Maybe it's trying to create two connections. That might actually explain everything. Yeah, because actually that might be exactly why. Because it's my issue is I have there's like the connect method is happening for the authorized client connection, which is like a user connection. So I think that's probably what's happening. Is it's trying to connect twice. Okay, let's go back to the all right, I'm over my hour, but let's try to make a tiny bit of progress. So the reason I took that side tangent was I was going to do this. And I just wanted to make sure it worked before. Hello. How y'all doing? Pretty good. How are you? Eating ice cream. Excellent. What type of ice cream? Oh, that's why. Roasted banana. That sounds very good. Yeah, and it's also ice cream. So you roast something. Roasting something makes it warm, but it's ice cream. Robert, can you /WC your game to see how many lines of code it is? Sure. Let's see. Find dot dash name star dot java dash exec C dash L Oh, actually, no, that won't do it. Cat so that's with the license. Now if I do, I think tail dash n plus 30, I think it's 30 lines that the license takes. So there's about 10,000 lines of license code, so 27,000 lines. What are you making? I'm making a terminal-based video game. Let's see, what was my... and there's some links in the description that go into more detail. If you check the GitHub, there's some videos. Oh, that's why. So I wrote this so it would work the same way. So it'd be the same interface for the client and the server. For the client only talks to one server. So I was going to reduce duplication. I put that session all in one place. And that was going to be to simplify the WebSockets communication processor. Yeah, I think this is definitely an issue. Because when I start a new client, it just reconnects to the same server, and it's probably doing a disconnect, which is maybe where that empty message is coming from. What's the game about? So it's basically just so the initial vision is you just wander around an infinite procedurally generated landscape, and you can mine types of iron ore and different minerals and stuff. The game is made like very generally though, so everything in the world is just like a series of blocks. So at this it's kind of early stages, so it's almost more like a game engine at the moment, and there's still some substantial elements is missing. Right now I'm trying to work on multiplayer, which is before I actually build more of the content out. So we need to figure out a way for this thing any progression mechanics ideas in the pipeline? Honestly, I actually try to avoid thinking about them because there's so many interesting mechanics I could do. I think before I do really anything, I need like a basic components and functionality, like the multiplayer stuff. Like there's a million things I could think of adding, like the enemies and stuff. I think would be a really important thing to have. there's already like a pretty general like recipe system. I just have to add new recipes. Let's see, where's that connect method called from? I forget. Connect and start. Okay, this connect method should not be here. I guess this must be like a legacy left over from how it was before. So I think the way to start untangling this thread is I need to move this object from here. So that's kind of not properly named because it holds it does the connections for the local in-memory connection and the WebSockets connection. So that has to be moved into this class. but this requires a client. WebSockets communication processor. Oh, that's why I have that in here, because this is that's going to be difficult to untangle. So there's a design flaw. So a client block model context maps to like one user connection, or like one open player connection. But I'm allowing two of these like player connections over the same WebSockets connection. But this thing is these on-open methods, these will fire for any of the clients. So really this should not have a dependency on this class. And then I also have this dependency for the in-memory connections. So this will require some refactoring or thinking of some kind to resolve this. And until that's fixed, it'll not be possible to open up two. I guess what I could do is I could actually allow every different client to open up a separate WebSocket connection. Because I would almost think that's how it would work right now, but maybe I'm overwriting a variable somewhere. All right, I'll probably leave it there for tonight. Because I did not did not accomplish any coding tonight, but I got a bit further at figuring out what I think is needs to be done next to get the WebSockets multiplayer working. All right, that'll be it for tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow night for day 339. Have a good night.